video and then traffic started coming. I'm running the crackle tube for the first time in a long time. Apologies for the big jacket getup. It's 32 degrees outside. So for those of you in warmer climates, this is what we call not a bad winter day, let's say. But it's a little chilly in here. I'm waiting for the heat to kick in. I've driven just about 20,000 miles in the SQ5. I picked it up with 39,000, like 500-ish, 400-ish miles on it. It's now got 926 miles on it. And I figured I would give you the thoughts, because my personal opinion, spoiler alert for the rest of the video, is that this is one of the hidden gems in the Audi lineup in the SQ5. Now, you guys know I don't do car reviews, so if you want numbers and stats, you'll probably go somewhere else. I'm just going to give you some opinionated opinions and maybe some facts. The only thing I really dislike about this car is these mirrors. Now, they're great for seeing stuff, but they're freaking gigantic. And when you're driving around the city, maybe it's just my seating position, but occasionally when someone goes to cross the street, they'll get lost in the mirror, and then you kind of like peek around the, I believe this is the A pillar. You peek around the pillar here, and suddenly there's a pedestrian there. Aside from that, the SQ5 does everything well. Now, if you have a kid, I'm thinking about making a video just on how good the SQ5 is as a dad car, but if you have a kid and you're in kind of the starter out baby seats, the front seat legroom is not great because you have to push the seat way forward for the baby seat in the back. My little man is 19 months now, so we just upgraded, I guess, a year and a half. At what point do you stop saying months and start saying years? I don't know, 20 months? He's a year and a half. We just upgraded to a more vertical car seat, and that's given a lot of the legroom back in the passenger seat. But for the first like year and 4 or 5 months, you were strapped for legroom in the front seat. So those are the two things that the SQ5 didn't do so well. Some of which is to be expected, so not a huge deal. There was just a tractor on the highway. Interesting. I've also made a video on this, but if you haven't driven an SQ5 yet and you're like, damn, I want an S4, I personally think the SQ5 is better than the S4 in almost every way, except for maybe like back road driving. This panoramic roof is baller. If you can get one that doesn't rattle, mine's on its 4th sunroof frame. Thank God it was CPO, and got it covered, and now this one hasn't rattled in 15,000 miles. But if you get one that doesn't rattle, the panoramic sunroof is awesome. Again, if you have a kid, I'm not going to spoil my dad video, but I'm going to make a dad car video. Versus the S4, I think the SQ5 is a little more unique because there's less of them out there. Obviously, if you're going for like the pure enthusiasts, like I love to drag race, blah, 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 the S4 is probably better, but 11.3 with some cooling issues in this girl. I think this transmission is better than the DSG, although I think my next car is going to have a DSG, so you know, I can't talk too much. But I really like having a torque converter and, you know, modern, oh, we got a little road rage going on here. Modern slush boxes are not slush boxes anymore. They're actually very complex and very smart. And if you want to learn more about that, you can contact Burke, who did my TCU tune, because there's about 16 billion maps in there, and that is not an exaggeration. There are so many maps in this transmission. It is really, really good. It's very responsive. You put it in manual mode, I mean, you can hear it just crack off shifts. I think the styling of the SQ5 is like spot on, especially when you lower them and put some wheels on them, or some gigantic brakes, which unfortunately I have since sold. But when you lower them and put some wheels on them, they look so unique, they look so special, and it's interesting because I felt like when I had an S4, everybody kind of had the same exterior mods. You know, you had a diffuser, a wing, a front lip, maybe some carbon fiber overlays, carbon fiber in the engine bay, whatever. And a lot of that stuff isn't available for the SQ5. So the way you make your SQ5 unique is, or Q5, is you lower it, which then you become like it's kind of like a cult. Like when I saw other S4s, I was like, damn, what is he doing better? When I see other lower Q5s, I'm like, they get it. Like, they get it. And so the way you make your car individual is you do these crazy wheel setups, and because the SQ5 has such big fender wells, like I'm running a 21 by 10.5 with a 25 offset. That is a freaking giant wheel with a 295 on all four corners. And that's kind of my expression of myself. But you see people running like staggered setups, you see people running staggered concave setups. That's been a recent thing. People realize you can get more concavity in the rear because the caliper's smaller. But you get these silly concave wheels, you get these awesome looking setups, and it's such, how do I say, it's like such an interesting market because you see a lot more, in my opinion, you see a lot more expensive wheels on the Q and SQ5 than you do on the S4, and I think it's because you don't have those exterior options to waste your money on, so then you end up running out of money and you can't buy the baller wheels. And what those expensive wheels do is obviously there's more customization and you end up with all these crazy combinations. So I think it's much easier to make the SQ5 unique compared to the S4, and obviously, like I said, there are less of them as well, so that's easier right off the rip. These seats, like, I didn't like them at first. I really love the S4 bucket, and this, if you can see, is a two-piece seat, but they're just as comfortable as the S4 seats. They may have a little less, actually I think the bolstering is pretty similar on the side, but the adjustable headrest is not actually that bad. It makes the seat, can't believe I'm gonna say this, a little more comfortable. I'm sounding like an old man now. The stock suspension on the SQ was a little rough. I remember my S4 being the same way. I think Audi just like firmed up the dampers to make the car sporty. But once you put it on coilovers, the car rides mint. And yeah, I mean, there's really, I honestly and truly believe that this is one of the best cars in the Audi lineup for this generation. It does everything well. You have the vertical storage space in the trunk that you don't in the S4. Obviously, the rear seats are pretty similar between the two, but you get the vertical trunk space that you don't have in the S4. And man, it is just a really good car. I've now driven a 3.0 car, or a 3.0 supercharged car between my S4 and this for 60,000 miles. Dual pulley for probably 20 of those 60,000, tuned for probably 40 of those 60,000. I haven't had a single engine issue. Actually, in the SQ5, I don't know if I've put much money into maintenance at all. Obviously, you know, I've done my oil changes every 5,000 miles and that kind of stuff, but there really hasn't been anything that's gone wrong on this car. I don't know, I think it's a hidden gem for the reliability. I think it's a hidden gem for the utilitarianism. Damn, that's a SAT word right there. The utilitarianism of the car, and ultimately they just drive really well. They ride really nice, and this transmission is awesome. There's a reason you're seeing this pop up in more and more Audis and cars across the field. Anyway, that was a little highway jaunt. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you own an SQ5, I hope you understand. If you're thinking about buying an SQ5, I would highly recommend it. This is just such a cool platform to start with. There's so many like different wheel options and different suspension options, and then you can do dual pulley and fuel pumps and all that stuff. And then you'll end up, you know, running low 11s with the seats pulled out of the thing. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have absolutely loved my time with this car. I think it is coming to a close fairly soon, but I can't say enough good things about it. So I'm going to try to put out 2 videos this week. I'm going to try to make a video on why the SQ5 is a great dad car on Sunday. And until then, thank you guys for watching. Apologies for the absence. Life has been, you know, a little hectic with everything that's been going on in the world. But thank you guys for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.